So guys, this is my review for the Case Study of Vanitas episode 12, and with that guys, let's jump right into this review of episode 12. Let's get it. So, very interesting stuff here in episode 12. The title of episode 12 is called Point of Departure, and that's basically leading more so towards the end of the episode. But what is pertaining to this specific episode, guys, this is actually the I want to say the first half of season one. I guess I want to say, or a series, whichever. It could be season, it could be a series, whichever. But I just saw a post not too long ago saying that the Case Study of Vanitas will be getting part two, a continuation, in January, I believe the 22nd, if I remember correctly. I just saw it a couple of hours ago. But when it's pertaining to the episode for the first half of the finale here, as we again prepare to wait a few months before part two comes out, that here basically we see that what ends up happening now. Jane and Vanitas finished they were finalizing their date. That's what I was trying to say. Finalizing their date, and eventually Jane mentions something that helps Vanitas realize something about Ruthens, because they were basically just conversating about their date and how she she was just doing this and trying to convince him that she loved him, but that wasn't the case at all. And he kind of figured that Vanitas kind of figured that was the case anyway. But because they had the conversation about Ruthens, it just something clicked in Vanitas, and he basically ran here. But before he came here, this is what we see at the beginning of the opening of the episode, where Ruthens, he basically he does something like the bite that he gave to Noé. There was some type of black mist or something, and it like wrapped around Noé's neck, and he basically kind of was saying like, you're going to be a good boy, you're going to follow my commands when I need you to do so. And he said, he basically demanded him uh basically, he told Noé like, now I want you to commit and submit to my will, basically. And that's what Noé said. He basically said something to him. He told him to repeat it back, and that's what Noé did indeed do that. And he said, in due time, you will indeed do what I need you to do. And Noé ended up passing out, ended up falling asleep. And then that's when Vanitas shows up, and he's able to pick him up. But at the same time, Ruthens, we then see that the charlatans, that one of the charlatans pop up, and we find out that Ruthens is working with the charlatans. So there's that. So very interesting stuff here in episode 12 when it's pertaining to Ruthens and whatever it is that he's planning on the side, or if he's a key player in all of this. That's what it just seems like. He's just working with the main charlatan people to apply upon these curse bearer marks, which also lets me know that more than likely that he did the same to Johnny, because he ends up running into her in the episode and they have a conversation and he takes her with him. So that just kind of lets me know that he's been applying these curse bearer marks on specific people, and so he had to have applied a curse bearer mark to Noé in last week's episode, in episode 11. And that's when we have a very interesting conversation between these two, basically, where Olivier, he's very upset that that Roland, because what he's doing here in this library, he's studying up on vampires, and basically tells Olivier that, like, I've been over the years I've been told that vampires are bad and blah blah blah, but I'm finding out that that's not the case from my various studies, and just from my experiences with them, that from what I was told compared to what I've experienced, stuff is contradicting my beliefs currently, and I'm leaning towards going in a different route than what the church has been teaching me. And of course, Olivier, he's pissed off, he's upset that Roland is thinking this way, and he basically tells Roland, like, look, dude, like, you're going down the path that can not only damage the church, but it can damage you personally, to the point that it can have a negative effect on your family, where people in your immediate family, like your parents, can get hurt by you having this new belief system. So you need to get back on track with the church and what we've been taught. But Roland basically says, like, look, dude, like, what happens if I try to fight a paladin? I started cracking up immediately. Like, wow, he really asked him that, like, you the higher up cast. Like, what if I fight like 3 or 4 of them? And then he says to Olivier, what if I end up fighting you? Olivier thinks in his mind, he's like, well, hold on. He goes from doing this to threatening me. And then that's when Roland was like, look, it's just, I'm kind of sticking to what I'm believing right now. And I need to continue down this path. And I agree with Roland. Like even if per religion, like with whatever religious belief you believe in, there's shouldn't be nothing wrong with you seeking out specific answers that you feel like are contradictory, whatever the case may be, because you are just you're still trying to follow that path of that religion, but there are just certain things in it that you have questions about. And in this instance, per this religion, as we see through this anime, through the past few episodes of us meeting him and interacting, like, what he's been taught definitely is not what he has experienced. So he can still walk this faithful life that he's living, and still believe what he believes with what the church is teaching, but he can still he should be allowed to, in my opinion, be allowed to do things in a different way that still benefits the church, in my opinion. But that's just me. So I really did indeed enjoy this scene between Roland and Olivia. Now, a little bit further into the episode, there's a conversation between Vanitas, Noé, and Dante. Dante shows up after Noé wakes up, because he of course he had been bitten. He was asleep, and he's trying to catch his bearings on what had happened between him and Ruthens. They end up conversating about this beast here. They were calling it the Beast of Gevolden, and it basically it's a I believe an 18th century folk tale that has some I want to say seemingly has some truth to it, because Dante basically says that this beast has shown up. Some people have been attacked and mauled in a specific way that this beast did back in the 18th century at the time, and it was known as the Beast of Gevolden. And again, this is a whole new place that is going to be more than likely going to be a part of the second half of this anime, this Gevolden place. But they basically were just talking. Vanitas was explaining, doing a storytelling of this, telling Dante and Noé about the Beast of Gevolden. Basically, this werewolf. I want to say it seems to me like it's a werewolf is getting ready to come into the anime story moving forward. So they had that conversation, and then of course Noé is going through it a little bit. And like I said, Noé was going through it a little bit. He's actually, during this conversation, he can smell Vanitas' blood in the air, and it's like real strong for him. I want to believe that the reason for him like being thrown off and not really paying attention to the conversations and paying more attention to Vanitas' smell of his blood is because of Ruthen's attack on him earlier in the episode, basically again at the end of episode 11, rolling it into this episode 12. But the thing is that he ends up asking. He's trying to get ready to prepare to ask Vanitas if he can suck his blood, but Vanitas, he shuts it down. He says the Artificity, which is basically the connection to Noé with him when he sucks somebody's blood and he can see their past and stuff like that. He basically tells Noé here in this scene, like, look, dude, if you ever try to bite me and suck my blood, I will kill you right there on the spot. And it's just like the room got real silent, and Vanitas got up and he went out onto the roof. So it was a funny moment, but it was still a serious moment within itself. And like I said, where I talked about Gevolden and them heading in that direction, that place, Gevolden, that they are getting ready to hop on this train here and head in that direction. But Vanitas, Noé, he's so excited because he sees this train. It makes me believe that he's never been on a train before. So he ends up bumping into this character here. And he apologizes. This character basically says it's no problems, no worries, whatever. And then they go about their business. But they do indeed show this character a couple of times within roughly the 30 or 40 seconds that is here. So I'm believing that this character is going to be somebody new rolling into part 2 that we see a little bit later. But once they get on the train, they still have a conversation, because even prior to this, they Vanitas and Noé have a conversation about the topic that they talked about the night before, about Noé sucking Vanitas's blood. And Vanitas basically said, like, look, if are there other ways for you to be able to see a person's memory, or do you have to suck their blood personally, like from their neck? And Noé's like, look, I have to suck their blood, it's through their vein. But he said that he did say that if I do still suck your blood in a different way, I'll probably be able to see a glimpse of memory from that person's past, or your past, or whatever. So that's when Vanitas said that, I will probably do it that way for you, at least this one time offer. And Noé got excited, and Vanitas was like, I'm just kidding, but I believe that he was speaking the truth. But again, once they got on the train, Noé gets really sleepy on the train. Now, I want to believe in this moment, because he bumps into this person, that maybe this person may have drugged Noé to make him like forcefully fall asleep, because he definitely did get really sleepy seconds into him sitting down on the train. Because that can happen. You never know. Somebody out there, they prick you with something. Even I was thinking maybe this person, because he bumped into him, they stole something from him. It's just one of those things that I was thinking here in this scene. So just very interesting stuff. But with that, then we actually get an ending cut scene at the very end of the episode, and it is this scene right here. And it is the ending cut scene here at the very end, where we see the Charlatan here hugging this young lady here, and she reaches back and rubs its face, and she says, the time has come, and she says that here in Gevolden, I shall make my song of vengeance echo across the land. And that ends episode 12. So we are getting ready to experience some other new character on top of the one at the train station. We're going to end up getting introduced to another key player in the vampire human, more than likely werewolf war moving forward in part 2 of this anime. And I'm looking forward to who this character is moving forward when it's pertaining to this anime. But pretty much, guys, I enjoyed this entire episode. I really enjoyed the Case Study of Vanitas, one of my favorites for the summer, and I can't wait for part 2 to drop in January of 2022, which again I believe is the 22nd of January. But with that, guys, let me know your thoughts. What did y'all think of the first half of the finale for today? Leave some comments in the comment section below. Let's talk about some things. What did y'all think of episode 12 when you first sat down to watch it? But with that, guys, I will talk to y'all next time with more, the case study of Vanitas. Peace, guys.